If you're new to tiki cocktails and don't know where to start, this video is for you because I'm going to share with you 5 tiki cocktails, and all of them are going to use just 3 bottles of rum. But even if you're already deep into tiki, we're still going to make some great cocktails today, and there are several recipes that I've not covered here on this channel before. I wanted to make this simple for someone who was starting from absolutely nothing. If you don't have any rum on hand, and maybe not even any syrups or liqueurs, I've condensed things to make it a little more economical and chose drinks that for the most part share ingredients and syrups. If you want to get into tiki, you need some rum. Instead of a collection of dozens of rums, I picked 3 relatively affordable bottles that are usually readily available, and they cover a lot of the bases here. These are not my 3 favorite rums or the 3 best rums out there, but you can buy these and continue to use them as you expand your rum collection. And for the cocktails today, I'm just going to simplify the rums, but not making anything else easy. No dumbing it down, we're making real tiki cocktails. First, you're gonna need a light Puerto Rican style rum. I'm recommending Q Cristal. It comes in at about $13. It's inoffensive, it's light, it's clean. It can also be used in daiquiris and mojitos, but if you wanna step this up a little bit and spend a few dollars more, I would recommend Florida Caña. It's one of my favorite light white rums. The next bottle I'd recommend is Chairman's Reserve. It comes in around $24. It's from St. Lucia, and its uniqueness makes it work in the drinks today because you can sub this in for a gold rum, a lightly aged rum, a lightly aged Jamaican rum, or even a Barbados rum. Now, it's none of those things, but the most well-rounded and will work across the board in many cocktails. Now, if this is challenging for you to find, and you can't find it at your local big box store or liquor store, you could go for Appleton's Signature. Comes in around $20. It's all Jamaican and an excellent rum to start your journey into rum and cocktails. But I've left this off intentionally because the next bottle I'm going to recommend includes some Jamaican rum, and that's Plantation or Planteray OFTD. Where I live, this comes in at $33, and the best thing about it is it's 1 full liter, so it gives you more rum. This is a blend of rums from Guyana, Jamaica, and Barbados. The Guyana and Jamaica flavors overpower the Barbados rum in here, and you're gonna get those intense flavors that make Guyana and Jamaican rums unique. It's overproof at 69% ABV or 138 proof. It makes it pretty versatile because you can sub this in for any drink that calls for an overproof rum or a 151. We can also use this carefully in a drink that needs a Demerara or a funky Jamaican rum by using a little bit less of it. Now, when you hear someone say Demerara rum or Guyana rum, they're talking about the same thing because there's just one distillery in Guyana, but it's not the same thing as Demerara sugar. That kind of gets conflated with each other. So if something calls for a Demerara rum or subbing in Demerara sugar to help heighten those flavors, that's not really the same thing. Demerara sugar is usually just a sugar that has a little bit more molasses in it. Now for the liqueurs or the modifiers, you'll need some Angostura Bitters. The small bottle of this will come in about $12, and if you've made a cocktail at home, you should probably already have a bottle of Angostura Bitters. The next bottle you'll need is Spice Dram. It's $25 if you find the smaller bottle here, and it tastes like allspice or Christmas. You can make your own, but the standard St. Elizabeth is what I like, and it's something you're gonna need if you wanna pursue tiki cocktails further in the future. Next, you'll need some Velvet Falernum. It's about 23 bucks, and it's a Barbados liqueur with ginger, cloves, and lime. And this is different from the homemade syrup varieties or the syrups you can buy commercially. There is alcohol in this, and what's nice is this is shelf stable. And most of the recipes you're gonna come across that are in tiki cocktails, they don't call for the syrup variety, but they're calling for Velvet Falernum. Now, the last bottle you're gonna need is an orange Curacao or an orange liqueur, and I'm going with Grand Marnier here. It's $27 to $30, and I wish we didn't have to use this in this video because there's only one drink that calls for this, but it is the most important drink. And this you have to have in this one. Now, my favorite orange liqueur, if I could just choose one, would probably be Grand Marnier, but you can find some cheaper ones. I would suggest going in the cognac style, which is the ones that are usually darker. Sometimes they come in a darker bottle or they have a darker brownish color, as opposed to the cleaner, lighter varieties like a Cointreau. Now, similar to Angostura Bitters, if you've ever made cocktails at home, next to Angostura Bitters, the next bottle you usually buy is a bottle of orange liqueur, so hopefully you already have one of these on hand. Now, if you're starting from nothing and you had to go out and buy all of these bottles of rum and liqueurs, it's gonna set you back about $160. That's gonna get you about 40 cocktails with just the rum alone and the liqueurs and the Angostura Bitters is gonna last you even longer. Now, missing from this is absinthe. It's not because I don't always love it, but a bottle of absinthe or Pernod will set you back $30 to $60. If you get into tiki, you will need one, but for the cocktails today, they don't call for absinthe, and that's kind of why I chose the ones we're gonna go over today. Now, everything else you're gonna need today is a syrup or a juice, and while you can spend money on those, I make almost all of my own syrups, and as long as you have sugar and a few cheap ingredients, you'll be able to make everything else for just a few dollars per bottle of syrup, and then you'll need to buy some fresh fruit for your juices when they're needed. If you're looking to buy syrups, Liber & Co. and Liquid Alchemist make good syrups. I have no experience with their entire line of syrups, and I like the Real brand as well. And all of our drinks today are tiki drinks with a foundation in tiki. I've excluded many of the popular tropical drinks, like the painkiller and such, because they're not technically tiki cocktails. Now, the journey into what tiki is and what it is not is overwhelming and complicated and causes arguments with people, but we're not gonna get into that today. We're just gonna make a few tiki cocktails. So let's go to the first popular tiki cocktail ever, which is the Zombie. And while the Zombie was created in the 1930s by Don the Beachcomber, this version is one of Don's revised recipes from the 1950s, and it comes from Jeff Beach Bum Berry. So you don't need a drink mixer for today. You can shake all of the cocktails, but since I have one, I'm gonna use it when it's called for. So let's get going with the 1950s Zombie. Start with 1 dash of Angostura Bitters, 1 teaspoon of a Demerara sugar syrup, 1 ounce of fresh lime juice, 1 ounce of fresh lemon juice, 1 ounce of pineapple juice, 1 ounce of passion fruit syrup, 1 ounce of our Don Q light rum, 1 ounce of Chairman's Reserve, 1 ounce of OFTD. And this one will flash blend. You're gonna serve this in a Collins or a Zombie glass. I'm gonna garnish it with mint. The 1950s version is just like a little bit juicier, but you get all that fruit juice, you get a lot of that rum coming through. It's the first tiki cocktail ever, and it's one that you have to make, the Zombie. Moving on to cocktail number 2, we're gonna make the Moonkist Coconut. Now, one of the greatest regarded tiki bars and restaurants of all time is the Mai Tai in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Most of the Mai Tai's drinks were inspired by Don the Beachcomber. The master mixologist at the Mai Tai, Mariano Liquidini, had worked with Don the Beachcomber in Hollywood and then in Chicago, and he brought many cocktails, templates, and inspiration from his time with Don. The Mai Tai's recipes are secrets. They're still secrets to this day. But shortly after they opened, they shared the recipe for the Moonkist Coconut with Esquire magazine in 1959. This is not the most popular cocktail from the Mai Tai. It might not even be in the top 10, but it's a slightly different style cocktail from the other ones that I'm sharing today, and it's something that's a little bit more tropical and uses coconut. Now, the recipe for the Moonkist Coconut is out there. You can find it. And I even did a video for this using the recipe found in the Esquire magazine. But today, we're going to follow the Atomic Grog's tribute to the Moonkist Coconut, which is a little bit different than the one shared in 1959. If the idea of the Mai Tai is alluring to you at all, then you need to go check out the Atomic Grog. And I'll put a link to this recipe in this episode's description. To make the Moonkist Coconut, you're going to start with 2 dashes of Angostura Bitters, half an ounce of fresh squeezed lime juice, 1 ounce of a rich honey syrup, that's 2 parts honey to 1 part water, 1/4 ounce of Falernum, 1½ ounces of coconut milk, half an ounce of cream of coconut, that's either Coco Lopez or Coco Real, 1.5 ounces of our Don Q Cristal, 3/4 ounces of Chairman's Reserve. And since the Moonkist Coconut has that coconut milk and coconut cream, it's best to flash blend this as well. Serve this in a hollowed out young coconut, or in this case, a ceramic coconut mug. And I'm going to garnish this with a flower. It's my first time having the Atomic Grog tribute to the Moonkist Coconut. So let's try it. It is so much better than most, maybe even all, cream of coconut or coconut milk cocktails because we're using coconut milk and we're getting honey in there too, so it's not overly sweet if you're just using cream of coconut. The rum comes through, and if you're looking for a tropical rum cocktail, you got to try the Moonkist Coconut, the tribute to the Moonkist Coconut from the atomicgrog.com. We're moving along to cocktail number 3, and this one is from Jeff Beachbumberry, and he is one of, if not the most important figures in modern tiki and tropical drinks. Without his books, none of this resurgence really takes place. While he's unearthed countless recipes and deciphered many of the Don the Beachcomber codes, he's also come up with some of his own drinks, including the Ancient Mariner, which we are going to make right now. Start with 3/4 ounce of fresh lime juice, half an ounce of grapefruit juice, half an ounce of simple syrup, 1/4 ounce of allspice dram, 1 ounce of Chairman's Reserve, and then 1 ounce of OFTD. We're going to shake the Ancient Mariner. Serve this in a rocks glass. And garnish with lime wedge and mint. All right, let's try the Ancient Mariner. It's Jeff Berry's take on the grog, and you get that bitterness from the grapefruit juice. You get the sweetness in there, you get the allspice dram, and you get plenty of rum coming through. So there you go, the Ancient Mariner from Beachbumberry. Cocktail number 4 today is the Puka Punch. The original Puka Punch was created at the Tiki Tea in Los Angeles. The bar was opened in 1961 by Ray Buin, who had worked for Don the Beachcomber and many other well-known establishments before opening Tiki Tea. For today's version, we're going to make the adapted version from Smuggler's Cove. For modern tiki cocktails, it's hard to think we are where we're at right now without Smuggler's Cove and the Smuggler's Cove book. For many of you, including myself, that book is kind of the starting point for your journey into real tiki and real rum. So this is a little tribute to the Tiki Tea as well as Smuggler's Cove. Start with 1 dash of Angostura Bitters, 1 ounce of fresh lime juice, 3/4 ounces of fresh orange juice, 3/4 ounces pineapple juice, 1 ounce of a honey syrup, 3/4 ounces of passion fruit syrup, half an ounce of velvet falernum, 1 ounce of Don Q Cristal, 1 ounce of Chairman's Reserve, and 1 ounce of OFTD. Since the Puka Punch has all of the fruit juices, especially that pineapple juice, it's best to flash blend it for this one. I'm going to serve this in a large snifter. And garnish it with mint. the Puka Punch. It's hard to put into words, but there's a certain type of tiki cocktail that should be served in a big snifter, and this is one of them. It's juicy, fruity, it's got lots of rum coming through. It really loads of passion fruit. You can really taste that passion fruit syrup. Everything works together so well. It's so balanced, and while dangerous, this is one of those drinks that you could easily have 2 or 3. Puka Punch from the Tiki Tea and Smuggler's Cove. One more cocktail to go, and last but not least, it's the Mai Tai, the most popular tiki cocktail of all time and probably one of the most popular cocktails ever. It was created in 1944 in Oakland, California by Victor Bergeron, Trader Vic, and it's the only cocktail today that uses orgeat or orange curacao, but you can't cover tiki basics without it. If you're interested in learning more about the Mai Tai, I'll leave a link in this episode's description to a 30-minute video I made just about the history of the Mai Tai. Now, the version I'm sharing today is pretty much the same as the original, but instead of using only Jamaican rum, I'm gonna split the base here with the rum to do 1 ounce of Jamaican rum and 1 ounce of light rum. Now, this split base is what Trader Vic introduced to Hawaii in the 1950s. And no matter what you've heard or what people tell you, it wasn't until the early 1950s when the Mai Tai goes to Hawaii that it becomes a popular cocktail. Now, for my version, I omit the rock candy syrup for more orgeat, but you can also lower the orgeat if you want to and include a 1/4 ounce of rock candy syrup. To make Trader Vic's Mai Tai, you're gonna start with 1 ounce of fresh lime juice, 1/2 ounce of orgeat, 1/2 ounce of an orange curacao or Grand Marnier, 1 ounce of a light rum, and 3/4 ounces of OFTD. We're gonna shake the Mai Tai by hand because that's how Trader Vic said to do it. Serve this in a rocks glass or a Mai Tai glass. Oh, what do you know? This one you can actually buy. Just check the episode description below for your own make and drink Mai Tai glass. Garnish it with a spent lime shell and some mint. There you go, the Mai Tai. All right, we are making progress because now we got our final cocktail to try. It's the Mai Tai, a split-base Mai Tai from Trader Vic. It is so similar yet so different at the same time than all of the other cocktails we've had so far. Now, those are for the most part kind of Don the Beachcomber template drinks or building upon some of the Don the Beachcomber drinks. And this one is just so uniquely Trader Vic. It's pared down. There's only a handful of ingredients as opposed to, 8, 9, 10 to 12 ingredients. And if you are new to tiki or if you're new to tropical drinks and you've not really experienced a truly delicious Mai Tai, once you make one of these, a simple, elegant, refined Mai Tai, it's gonna change your whole perspective on tiki and tropical drinks because the stuff that you get served out there most of the time with pineapple juice and grenadine and whatever else they're putting in Mai Tais, it's not a real Mai Tai. This is a real Mai Tai, and it's something you can play around with. If you started venturing out and getting more new rums, you can play with them here. Next to the daiquiri, the Mai Tai, it's just the greatest template to use to make cocktails, to try different rums and experience new and interesting flavors. There you go, the Mai Tai from Trader Vic. So there you go, 5 tiki cocktails for beginners, but really, these aren't beginner entry-level cocktails. These are all real, legitimate, strong, and boozy tiki cocktails. I've only had sips of each one of these, and trust me, I already can feel it. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like below. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. If you want to support this channel more, we have a Patreon page. I have links below to things like this glassware, which you can still pick up. These straws right here, these glass bamboo straws are from Surfside Sips. And there's a link to that below where you can save a little bit of money and support this channel. And I've got a ton of dishes to do now. So see you on the next one.
Sing with joyous heart.